Welcome to Pet Pals. I'm Bethany Davidson, the Humane Educator here at Frederick County Animal Control and Pet Adoption Center. This morning we've got some big dogs to show you. Tammy is here with us, and she has Sultan. He is one of two German Shepherds that we are going to have on the show today. He is 3 years old. And we have him down listed as German Shepherd Experience Preferred, and I think that's because he can be a little cautious sometimes, a little what our kennel staff is calling nervy. So that's just why they've recommended that. But otherwise, he is tested very well in our behavior assessment. We found that he walks nicely on leash. He is very friendly or cautious when you approach his kennel. He reacts favorably to other dogs or doesn't have a reaction at all. He's easy to get leashed up. He enjoys being petted. No real issues with food aggression, but they weren't able to test him for object guarding because he just wasn't interested in the toy that they gave him. He's very sweet, but he can be a little nervous at times. He's a little nervous right now because he's in a new situation, and he's kind of exhibiting some of that body language. Another thing that we found, because we test all of the dogs here for heartworm, Lyme disease, Ehrlichia, and anaplasma, and he did test Lyme positive. So getting him on a 30-day cycle of doxycycline once you were to adopt him would be important to do. And then just keeping up with his flea and tick preventative, as well as possibly a Lyme vaccine. But you can always talk to your vet about that and what they think is going to be best. Some of you might be wondering, how did this handsome guy end up here at the shelter? His family had multiple dogs, and they were in a position where they were financially unstable, so they brought dogs to us so that we could rehome them, and they would be able to provide for their veterinary care, so on and so forth, since they were unable to do so. So he did come in with other German Shepherds, Brutus being one, and so he has had experience living with other dogs. They say that he is calm, he's playful, energetic, friendly, he's used to getting baths and riding in the car. His previous owners also say that he is both house trained and crate trained. If you are interested in Sultan here, you can stop in and visit him here at Frederick County Animal Control and Pet Adoption Center. Our address is 1832 Rosemont Avenue. Our next guest is a little bit smaller, a little bit younger. This is Nala, and she is a 10-month-old tan and white pit bull mix. She is a beautiful little girl. Because she is a puppy under a year old, she will be adopted through our puppy process, which means we will take up to 4 applications for her, and it is an extended application. It asks questions about puppy experience and things like that. And they are adopted for a fee of $150. Puppies tend to require a little bit more care, and they're a bit more responsibility, so we want people to understand that, and that is why their fee is a little bit higher than the adult dogs on the adoption floor. Nala is color-coded yellow, which means she can be a little bit shy. She doesn't seem to be showing that right now, but she is, as all the dogs are, very familiar with Tammy, so she's kind of a safe place, a touchstone when they're in this uncomfortable environment. She weighs in at about 43 pounds. Because she's 10 months old, she'll probably fill out a little bit more, but she probably won't get much taller. So she'll be about this size. And she was brought to us after being owned for a period of 2 months because her owner didn't have time for her. So when you're making the decision of whether or not to get a pet, when you're deciding the type of pets and whether you really can get one at all, it's important to think about whether or not you're going to have time to commit to them. Animals get emotionally attached to people. They like their routines. So when you have to get rid of them, it's upsetting, not just for you, but also for the animal. If you're looking for something that's a smaller time commitment, then sometimes cats are a little bit better. If you're looking for something that is going to be a short-term commitment, then guinea pigs, they don't have as long of a life expectancy. So you really need to take all of those things into consideration. And even if you decide you do have the time for a dog, puppies require more care because you have to train them and they tend to have higher energy. So looking for dogs that may be are lower energy, or senior dogs, those types of things, so that you are not going to have to be in this situation that Nala's owner was when he had to bring her here to the shelter. She has previously lived with children of all ages, and she lived with other dogs. She's playful, energetic, friendly. It does say that she's afraid of noises, that she's a chaser. If you think you have the time to commit to a puppy, you can stop in and visit with Nala. Again, the adoption fee for our puppies is going to be $150, and you can visit her at the shelter any day, Monday through Saturday. This lovely lady is Sadie, and she is 1 year old, and she is a red merle red heeler. And now some of you might be thinking, oh, she's so pretty, I want to take her home. Yeah, she is really pretty, but you do have to make sure that you're prepared for all that Sadie is, because she's a herding dog, so she's used to herding things and protecting the herd from predators and things like that. So she has the mind to work. She's going to not want to just sit around and be a couch potato. She's going to need some sort of job to do to keep her mentally stimulated, to also keep her active and healthy. And she has a pretty high prey drive, so she cannot go to any homes with cats or small animals. If you are thinking about in the future you might want a cat, anywhere down the line, then Sadie's not going to be the good dog for you. We have also asked that she go to a home with children at least 6 years old and older, or adult-only home, because she is color-coded yellow. She can be a little shy, a little uneasy. We don't want to startle her, and we don't necessarily want kids that don't understand to respect an animal yet. We want kids who are old enough to know that you don't want to pull on Sadie's ears and tails, and you don't want to poke her, and if she's sleeping, you don't want to come up and pull her eyelids open or anything like that. So you just want to be able to respect the animal, to make sure that she feels comfortable. And we are requiring a herding breed experience, because a lot of people see a dog and they think it's so pretty and they take it on and they just can't handle the energy level, because when dogs get bored, that's typically when they get into trouble. So you want to make sure that you're keeping them active. Even if she can't herd, she can hang out on the farm. Things like agility, frisbee, and other types of training and activities can be beneficial for them, just to get that mind moving. We have some information from the previous owner. Again, absolutely no cats. They say that she's calm. They say that she is a chewer in their home. So just letting her know what is acceptable to chew on. She's playful, energetic, friendly, walks nicely on the leash, rides well in the car. They say that she loves to chew on hard bones, things like Nyla bones, that type of toy, and that she also loves tug of war. So there are a lot of great things to Sadie, but you do want to make sure that you're prepared for all that she is, not just how she looks on the outside. Our last canine guest is perhaps the biggest dog on the floor right now, I'm pretty sure. He's 105 pounds of love and floppy ears. This is Brutus, the German Shepherd, and he is 5 years old. He came from the same home that Sultan came from. They do not have to be adopted together. They are not housed together, so don't feel obligated to take them both. He is also Lyme positive, so he will need to be treated for that. All the animals on the show today that we showcased will be spayed or neutered before they leave. That's part of our adoption process. We make sure that they're all spayed or neutered, that they are microchipped, that they get their rabies vaccine, distemper vaccine. The dogs also get a Bordetella. They are dewormed. They get flea and tick preventative. We also offer you a free well visit to the vet. So you really can't beat what you're getting for the adoption fee. And for a dog like Brutus, who is a senior at the age of 5, he gets an extra $20 reduction in his adoption fee for being that senior. So he would go home for a fee of just $72.50 if you were to make him part of your family. Brutus also financially unstable family. That's why they brought him to us, but lived in the home with other dogs, German Shepherds primarily, been around children of all ages, playful, energetic, friendly, calm, walks nicely on the leash, rides well in the car, used to getting baths and vet checks. He, unlike Sultan, does not need to go to a home with German Shepherd experience. He's a pretty easygoing guy. I've been told that he's pretty goofy, and he is not really your typical German Shepherd from what people are relaying to me. And he is quickly becoming staff and volunteer favorite around here. According to his behavior assessment, he keeps his kennel clean. Thank you for those kisses. He's friendly, no reaction to other dogs, easy to obtain, easy to walk. They just say that he is super sweet. He likes to be petted. The only thing is that he did come in with an ear infection, so right now, even though his ears are super cute, those floppy ears are a little sensitive, so you don't want to be rubbing on them too hard because that can be a bit painful for him still. If you are interested in taking Brutus home and making him part of your family, the first step is always going to be to visit us. Our location is 1832 Rosemont Avenue. After you read his profile and visit with him outside of his kennel, then if you are still interested, you would be able to put in an application for this guy. It seems like whenever we adopt out all of our guinea pigs, waits a couple days, and then we have a full small animal room of guinea pigs again. And that's true. Annabelle here is just one of about 7 or 8 guinea pigs on our adoption floor right now. And she is the oldest. She is a super senior. Guinea pigs tend to have a life expectancy of anywhere between 5 and 8 years old, and Annabelle is 6. So she just needs a nice kind of place to hang out, quiet, loving home where she's going to get the attention that she deserves for whatever time that she happens to have left. She has lived with other guinea pigs, but it is important that you properly introduce guinea pigs. You can't just toss her in with whatever guinea pig you might have. She can be a little bit shy. Here she tends to stay in her house a lot, but I've talked to some of the staff and they do say that she's actually very, very sweet. She's just hard to catch, and that might just be a game for her, who knows. I put her out on Tammy's lap and she seems relatively relaxed. She's kind of looking around, sniffing around. Her owner surrendered her to us because they said they were traveling for work, and I guess they couldn't find anyone else that would be willing to take her Annabelle on. Annabelle's favorite food is carrots, and we are currently out of carrots, otherwise she would be nibbling on some of those right now. So, but it is important to make sure you're not giving them carrots all the time. Carrots have a lot of unnatural sugar in them, so it's basically like giving your guinea pig some candy. They need other things like lettuce. We give them apples sometimes. They get a lot of Timothy hay. So it's important to fully understand guinea pig care before you take one on, because they do have special needs that are not typical to your cat or your dog. Making sure that her cage is of an adequate space, that she does have a little hut, that they're having water, and all those things is going to be necessary as well as socializing them and handling them and giving them some time to kind of roam free on the floor in an exercise pen or something so that they can get exercise. Our guinea pigs are adopted for a fee of $10. If you want to make Annabelle part of your family and make sure that her golden years are the best possible, then you can stop in and visit with her here at Frederick County Animal Control and Pet Adoption Center. We thank you for tuning in to the canine portion of our show. After the break, we're going to introduce you to 5 fantastic felines.
Catoctin Creek Nature Center is excited to offer field trips year-round for public, private, and homeschooled students from pre-K through high school. A hands-on experience will allow students to discover and explore the wildlife in the Piedmont region of Maryland. Topics will include Catoctin Creek critters, investigating insects, and seasons of change. Having fun, exploring, and educating are the components that make Catoctin Creek Nature Center such an excellent resource for outdoor education. For more information or to schedule a field trip, please call our main office at 301-600-2936 or visit us on the web at www.recreator.com.
Welcome back. Our first guest is one of those animals that does qualify for our fall promotion. So from now until October 31st, all of our cats that are 8 months old or older are going to be adopted for a fee of just $15.50. That's a huge discount from our normal $97.50. Why are we doing that? Because we have a large number of animals on the adoption floor right now, and we're really hoping to get all of these cats, as many as possible, into loving homes. And sometimes a reduction in adoption fee can help with that. Helen is one of our senior cats. She is 10 years old, and she is just super sweet, super cute. She's got the softest fur, and she, you know, despite just being a normal black and white cat, she has a lot of unique things about her. She has a lot of character in her markings. She is a little bit overweight, so anyone who was to adopt Helen, it would be advisable to get her on a diet for a lot of reasons. Number one, just being a healthy weight is important so they don't develop diabetes and other medical concerns. But also, she has a little bit of arthritis and things like that. So getting her to a healthy weight will make movement more easy, less painful for her. And because she is a senior cat, that's kind of a typical thing that you would expect. You know, arthritis, the fact that she is going to probably need to have her teeth cleaned in the next 12 months, all things that pop up as animals age. So in addition to being prepared for the fact that they might not be with you for as long, you have to be prepared for the financial expenses of owning a senior animal. And while she is 10, that doesn't mean that she doesn't have a long life ahead of her still. Cats can live anywhere from 10 to 20 years depending on, you know, genetics and their overall health and well-being. So she could be with you for another 10 years, 8 years, or 2 years. It really just depends. But she has a lot of love to give for however long she might have to give it. She was surrendered to us after being owned for 10 years, so she's really only had one owner because her owner was moving. They say that she has lived with other cats and dogs as well, and that she's very friendly, which we've definitely seen here at the shelter. So if you're looking for a nice kind of senior cat that's just going to be low-key, more calm, not necessarily racing up and down your hallways at all hours of the day and night, then a senior cat like Helen will probably be a good fit. If you're interested in her, the first step is going to be to stop in and visit with her. Our location is 1832 Rosemont Avenue. Patti is significantly younger than Helen. She's about 4.5 months old. Because she is under 8 months old, she'll be going home for our standard $97.50 adoption fee. That makes sure that Patti is going to be spayed, she's going to be microchipped, she's going to get flea and tick preventative, rabies vaccine, distemper vaccine, dewormer, that well visit to the vet, all that stuff that they always get. Patti kind of has a bit of a sad story. She was relinquished as part of a litter of 4, and all the other cats have since been adopted. Patti was actually scheduled for adoption herself, but when the time for the interview came, the potential adopter just never showed up. So she's been back out on the adoption floor looking for a new family, and she gets tons of applications, but for one reason or another they just never work out. People don't fulfill the obligations that are required to adopt. We find that they're not a suitable adopter for various reasons. They just never call us back. So she's still looking. And she spent most of her childhood, her kittenhood, if you will, here with us. And we want to make sure that she's going to get to spend the rest of her young life in a loving family, learning how to play and cuddle and be loved. Patti has already been spayed because she was scheduled for adoption, so she will be a relatively quick turnaround, but she is a high energy kitten. She is going to be the kitten that's going to be running up and down your hallway all night, pouncing on your feet, jumping up on stuff, very curious. She's going to need somebody that's going to be committed to playing with her and working with her, so she knows what's acceptable. So she knows, okay, I'm not going to scratch the furniture, I'm going to scratch here, or I'm not going to sit up on the counters if that's what's important to you in your home. She is litter box trained. All of the cats on the adoption floor use their litter box, but if you're looking for something that's going to be calm and cuddly, then maybe Patti is not what you're looking for. If you're looking for a cat that's going to keep your kids occupied and play with them and be a little bit entertaining, then Patti is going to be probably a better choice for you if that's the kind of lifestyle that you have. Again, you want to make sure that you're prepared to commit to Patti for her entire life. She's still a baby, so she could have a life of 10 years or 20 years or somewhere in between still ahead of her. So you want to make sure that you're going to be able to care for her for that entire length of time. We don't, as much as we love the animals that we see here, we don't want to see them come back to us. So you want to make sure that you're prepared to care for her entire life. Despite her kitten-like appearance, Suzy is actually a 1.5 years old. She is just one of our petite girls. She's 6 pounds and 15 ounces. She's just very tiny, very cute. She is a tortie with white, actually, it says, yes. So she's just super cute. She's fitting in with all of the fall promotions that we have going on. She's that perfect mix of fall colors in her coat. And now, as we've mentioned several times in the show, the perfect time to fall in love because we have a reduction in our adoption fees for our cats that are over the age of 8 months. And Suzy definitely falls into that category. She is relatively quiet in her cage, but she came right up to the front when she was sleeping. I opened the cage, she came up and she was like, hey, pet me. She is color-coded orange, so that just means she's individually average. She has her own unique personality, but she pretty much does things when she wants to do them. She's content sitting on a lap when she wants to. She's content playing when she wants to. And when she wants to be alone, then she'll go off and be a little bit more independent. She was previously owned, however, they did not give her a name when she came in. The owners didn't fill out a profile. So that could mean a couple of things. It could mean maybe she was a barn cat that just kind of showed up on their property and they brought her to us, so they didn't really get too attached. It could mean that she was a stray that they had found and they were caring for her for a period of longer than 2 weeks, which makes her then their cat. So it could mean a lot of different things. But we have since named her Suzy, and she's looking for a wonderful and loving forever home. If you think that you're drawn to her and you want to stop in and see her personality firsthand, first step, always to come in and visit. We are open to the public 6 days a week. Our visitation hours where you can see animals are Monday, Tuesday, and Friday from 10 to 5, Wednesday and Thursday from 12 to 8, and Saturdays from 10 to 4. This handsome guy is Newt, and from the moment he arrived, he definitely made a big impression on all of the staff. You could try to ignore him, but you would definitely not succeed because Newt is a talker. He's not really indicating that right now, but he is not afraid to share his feelings. He loves attention, and he will ask for it morning, noon, and night if he really wants it. He's a little unsure of what's going on right now, so he's behaving a little shyer than is his typical behavior. He's definitely normally a very outgoing guy. He saw me walk by, he was meowing, he wanted my attention, I picked him up, he instantly started purring, and that's kind of how he's been as long as we've known him. He will cry for attention. He's still a pretty active kitten. He's about 6 months old, but he craves attention. So if you want a cat that's always going to be happy to see you and be happy being picked up and for as long as he wants for a cuddle, then Newt is going to be a good option for you. Newt came in with other cats, so he is used to living with them. I think he came in with Jacob and Credence. I may or may not be correct on that. They're all about the same age, about 6 to 7 months old, and have similar appearances. He's just a very handsome brown tabby. If you want a cat that's not a talker, he's probably not going to be a good fit for you because he likes to chat, and I have some chatty cats at home too, and sometimes it's nice because it kind of fills your home with a little bit of life and noise, and you know that they're there to be your companion. Because he is under 8 months old, he would be adopted for our standard $97.50, and you can visit him here at Animal Control Monday through Saturday. The final cat that we have for you today is definitely a standout on the adoption floor. This is Kevin, and he is a 5-year-old Flame Point Siamese mix. And he is super sweet, super handsome. He's feeling a little anxious right now, which is not his typical behavior. He is color-coded blue, which means he's calm, cool, and collected. But sometimes this room with the weird air vent that kind of blows down on them and lots of doors making noise opening and closing can be a little unsettling for the animals once they've gotten used to living in their cages, which is a good example of why we encourage you to keep them isolated for 10 days once you get them home. So it's a smaller room that they're getting accustomed to. It's refreshing to them that it's larger, but it's not so large that it's overwhelming. And it can definitely make the transition from our shelter to your home a little bit easier for the animals. Kevin was brought in with 2 other cats, Agnes and Hope. Hope has since been adopted, but Agnes, our Seal Point Siamese, who is also 5 years old, still available for adoption. They have lived together, and they make a cute little pair, so if you're looking to take home 2 cats, they might be a great option for you. Siamese cats tend to be a little bit more vocal, but he is a little bit more on the quiet side, whereas Agnes is a little bit on the chattier side there. He was turned in, as was Agnes, for scratching furniture. That's something that you can easily remedy and prevent if you're willing to work at it. So, you know, making sure that he has adequate things to scratch on, things that are on the ground and both high up vertical, different textures, you know, using catnip to guide him to those places, positive reinforcement when he's using those things, trimming his nails properly, using double-sided tape and things like that to deter him from scratching on furniture. And then you can always use the spray bottle if you feel like that method will work for you, or you can get soft paws, which are little caps that you put over top of their claws so that they can't do any damage. So there's lots of stuff that you can do if you're willing to work at it to keep a cat that likes to scratch on furniture in your home. Again, we want to remind everyone that from now until October 31st, all of our cats and kittens that are over the age of 8 months old will be adopted for that fee of just $15.50. So if you're looking to add a feline to your family, right now is the best time to fall in love. We want to thank you for watching, and we hope that you'll tune in again next week to the next edition of Pet Pals.